extra promo or whatever the case may be. But she made a video that went viral, and she basically was sitting here saying, I don't want to get married because all the women I know that is married to broke niggas. This was, again, a white woman. And she kind of doubled down on her joke. And of course, let me tell y'all something. One thing you will learn is the power of Black Twitter, Black TikTok. When people get outraged and it gets on the radar of some of the bigger Black figures on social media, especially on Black Twitter, they're gonna find where your job is, and they're going to put enough pressure on your job or the companies that you may, if you got any brand endorsements or anything, they will put them enough pressure on it to make them tap out. I promise you, they will make those people tap out and make you lose your job and make you absolutely lose whatever brand endorsements that you already have. And so this lady had to learn the hard way. But two things can be true. I kind of wanted to tie this into, because Lil Uzi was going viral over the weekend for his Marc Jacobs ad. For people who haven't seen Lil Uzi Marc Jacobs ad, I'm gonna just give you I guess like a slight example of what he got on. It basically looked like he got on a black dress, a do-rag, and a green Marc Jacobs purse with some Marc Jacobs like gloves, and it almost looked like I want to say like the Louis Vuitton print that came out a few years ago, where it's like a lime green print on a background. It kind of almost looked like it was like spray painted a little bit. So that's kind of what it looked like. It realistically, that's the only thing I can compare it to is the Louis Vuitton thing. So the white girl sit here and said, "That's crazy that y'all gonna cancel me for using the N word, but y'all gonna let this F bomb sit here, Lil Uzi, continue to sit here and glow up." So of course people gave him some pushback. Lil Boosie gave him some pushback. Who else? It was a couple people who gave him some pushback and was kind of outraged about this photo shoot from Lil Uzi. To me, sometimes I be feeling like some people are so far in their bag and who they are, I don't think they even care. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do one day wish I have that type of thick skin where I don't really care about what people's opinion are on me, because Lil Uzi is in that, like, I feel like he posts on social media and kind of like just completely disappear. You only gonna see Lil Uzi when he wants to be seen. But I'm not gonna lie, that picture was OD, kind of out of, like, it was crazy. But to me, that's just like, you seen it?
Yeah, I mean, but can you see why the dating game is messed up? Like, can you see? I would rather be by myself than
date a dude with a dress on.
Yeah, or painting their nails, or like, you know what I'm saying? It's really, 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 really tricky. I would rather just
So okay, let's stay right there because you took it right there. Do you think realistically though? Let's just say pause, no homo. Do you think? Let's say if this nigga was amazing in the bedroom though, like let's use JT for example. This is her boyfriend, and he go crazy in the bedroom, like he taking her to Pound Town, making her orgasm like 4 or 5 times. He may look like he played this game, and I don't know what that check is like, because it's just like, you have those moments, and I could almost kind of tie it in just to Angel Reese for like 2 seconds, because it's like this, like, let's say, I mean, I'm sure for people who are seeing right now, whatever the little flagrant one file that they called about her, and like every white media outlet dragging her to hell. But then I was just like, damn, she kind of get to use that to her advantage, because all her, like, go to her Instagram page, like all her posts are paid posts. Like, she don't post for free. Like, every time she's tagging like the brands and stuff she got. So it's kind of like, and realistically, of course, unless it's something super crazy, most brands don't care about if you getting negative attention or positive attention, especially if it's not, of course, unless, like I said, like you like this white girl because she lost her job and she lost whatever little TikTok endorsements that she had from TikTok. But if it's not for saying something like, basically they can get you canceled, but it's just off of some people be like, all press is good press. It don't matter if it's bad or if it's good. So they kind of don't care. So even if I'm looked at it for, like, I seen a girl was like, damn, they always sit here and say that like somebody like Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark because of whatever case may be. And I went and looked, and I'm like, bro, Angel Reese got more followers than the WNBA. What is, and I think for 22-year-olds, of course, Lil Uzi, I think he like 26 or 27. So it's a little bit different. Like, would I actually care if I think if I'm in my 20s, my thing is I care about likes and views and followers. So it's just like, and I'm gonna get paid for it. Like, I don't know how. I'm sure he got paid a lot of money for this Marc Jacobs thing. So it's kind of like, let's just say if he got paid, man, for me to do something this gay, let's just say $2 million. If you got paid $2 million, let's just say if this was your significant other and he got paid $2 million, and he literally, I'm talking about, he'd wear your cheeks out every single night. He literally making you have like 3 or 4 orgasms. Would you care if he did this and he got paid $2 million? Ain't he a trick? He tell you, JT didn't let it been known a million times. He gonna trick that bag. So if he tricking that bag and he wearing your cheeks out, would you actually care if he took this picture?
No, because I'm already in a relationship with him. We talking about trying to get out there and start dating, and this is what I see.
Oh yeah.
Off of first impression. If we were married or in a relationship and I already know what it is, no, that wouldn't bother me.
But just off of like, if this was the dude that trying to slide in your DM and you was like, damn, it's like,
yeah. If you look at the people walking down the streets on social media in the mall, just like look at them. Look at the dating pool. And it's not to say that it's not good, you know what I'm saying, regular
men out here, but
men
just
out
still,
here.
but that is still that is a mix. And I do, again, because we tying it into just the younger people on the social media. Realistically, he's going to have an influence because somebody's going to look at like, yeah, I hear all the old people saying this is gay and this is weird, but let's just say this was just off of his page. This was matter of fact, this was off a burner account. Somebody posted this. Matter of fact, this is a Shannon Sharp burner account. This like it's like a basically what do they call it? A meme page. Bro, this junk got 6 million views on it. And I screenshotted it at 6 million. So I don't know how many it got now. But if you see here something, so for a kid who just like, I want to be popular on social media, or I want to be able to constantly go viral, I can understand why if I'm older and I see this, I would get upset because I know for a fact that Uzi has such a large following when it comes to the youth, where he can influence a bunch of younger kids from him. Because some dudes may feel like, well, Uzi tough. I done seen Uzi been ran down on dudes, punched dudes out. So it ain't like he really like, it's kind of like people calling him gay, but I done seen his hands work more than I've seen some of the tougher gangster rappers, even from Philly. Like I've heard Philly dudes be like, nah, Lil Uzi probably a little bit more tougher than Meek Mills. So you hear those conversations. So it's kind of like, I do understand for how that kind of can trickle down and it can kind of get tricky where it's like, damn, like even again, like I said, if I tied to the WNBA, I'm sure most women like wouldn't, I don't even know if most people could have as thick a skin as Angel Reese got. Like, cause I couldn't imagine, like I looked at it and I'm like, dog, I love this girl game so much and her as just as a basketball player. I don't even want to keep making posts and stuff about her right now because you kind of, it's like you just constantly still feeding the algorithm. So people kind of just, I watch people complain about it and it's just like, but you still kind of, you're complaining about how white media is betraying her, but you kind of, you're indulging in it. So it's like, I feel like that go, like, I don't know how you cut that off.
How you cut what off?
Keeping that from being influential and making people want to sit here and
you can't really cut that off. I mean, there's no way you can, because it's a part of, I got what, promotion. So you can't really cut it off. What can you do? I mean, when it comes to like you said, like little kids, and like, I'm glad I don't have boys because how do you explain that to your son?
That's my point.
But then that's where your parenting skills come in.
And especially because it's just like, Lil Uzi make good music. So I do think realistically, I do feel for parents where it's like that makes your job 100 times harder because he actually make good music. And then it makes it 100 times harder when it's videos of Lil Uzi on the internet beating niggas up. So just imagine like your dad sitting here telling you, oh, don't do this, that little gay, boom, boom, dropping all types of crazy gay slurs. But then if I'm a son, I'm like, Dad, I ain't never seen your hands work a day in your life. You just talking. Like, I ain't never seen you fight nobody. I ain't never seen you even raise your voice at nobody. But I seen Lil Uzi get active, and you telling me don't be. Look, I'm with you. I'm glad I don't have kids at all at that point because I don't understand how you realistically could kind of. I don't know how you even explain this. I don't even know how you tell your kids this is a bad thing because it's just like.
But it's kind of like that. It's being normalized. Like, so this is what it's normal. They trying to make it normal so it's not bad or you know what I'm saying? It's not gay. It's acceptable. And it just depends on you as a parent how you want to push it. But like I said, I'm glad. I remember I used to work in daycare and this little boy, he used to always wear heels and be like, hey girl, we going to the club, right?
Oh, for real? Like how old?
He was like probably like 5, 6. Like,
where did he get the heels from?
You know, the daycare, they have the dress up and the stoves and stuff.
Okay.
So with all the other boys, they'd be playing, you know, cars or dinosaurs or whatever. He'd be over there with the girls with like cooking on the oven. But see, now that's like, it's gender roles now. So you can't say, oh, don't do that because
you look crazy. What you just said, that is a huge argument on social media where it's like, how do y'all get mad? Like, how do a little boy want to become a chef when he grew up if y'all tell him he can't have a cooking set? And I was like, damn.
I mean, I get it. You can't, it's nothing wrong with them cook, but like I said, no, he was like, hey girl, let's go to the club. Okay, let me finish cooking. Like he was like
stuff that you probably realistically you could tell he picked up that behavior from just probably watching his mom.
Yeah.
And that to me, and that's I guess we can kind of even bring that back into the Shepherd conversation. I mean, I guess the difference for them is because they do have all girls, but just especially for dudes, when you sit here talking about, sometimes you gotta think. To me, you gotta think about those things when you sit here thinking about calling a relationship quits, especially if a man, if you got boys, it's like, bro, you probably sometimes need to be in that house more than you think about, because little behavior like that, if that's all I'm seeing constantly, that's going to be a bad habit to break from the kid, because that's all I see. Like, he might not necessarily even know what he's doing is copying what a woman do because he's so young, you don't even understand that. But realistically, if there's no man in the house, what mannerisms do I get to copy? How do I copy any mannerisms from a man if I don't see no man in the house?
You just got to be present, whether he's in the house or not. You need to, as a father, they need to be present. Just like for Father's Day, they was like, oh, we don't want to hear the mothers talk about Happy Father's Day to me. And I saw a lot of people going back and forth about that. But I agree to a certain extent, because even though you might be doing both roles, a woman can't teach a boy how to be a man.
You can't do that. And I do think, I know a lot of women probably try to, and it's just like, you can't do that though.
Just like a man can't teach a girl how to be, you know what I'm saying, how to be a woman or how to be feminine. You can try, like as a female, you can try, but it's nothing like having a father figure for that child.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where I guess realistically, that's where it do get tricky at. But again, that's why sometimes for me, it's just like, I guess that's the question that I always ask myself. If I was in that place right now, like let's just say 5 or 10 years from now, and you're in that situation and the relationship is just horrible, what is more important to me? My happiness? Because you can suck it up. Let's be clear. I think realistically, I think sometimes, and I'm not saying it's a cop out for people, but don't think about how many people stay at a job that they completely hate, but it pay the bills. It pay the bills, and it allows you to be able to have a life outside of just working. Like, you can still go on all the trips you want. You can still wear whatever clothes you want. I'm sure a lot of people stay at jobs that they really hate, and probably hate everybody at work. But so that to me is, if you can thug that out, if I'm just talking about, I want to be a great hands-on parent. I want to be able to wake up and see my kids every day in the house with me. And of course, this probably conversation isn't for women, but this is something just for men who need to think about, who's quick to just be like, I'm just gonna pay the child support, I'm gonna leave. Man, you leaving a lot of unknowns up to your baby moms, and you leaving a lot of unknowns to whatever dude that she end up letting be the stepdad. And we can kind of tie that almost into realism. We can tie that into the Shy. Just look at that, how Emmett and Nook is just like bumping heads at Halloween, like how to celebrate Halloween. And the little boy was crying about he wanted some candy or whatever the case may be. And then Nook ready to sit here, I'm gonna go Instacart him some candy. So after we finish it, the candy already be there. And then Emmett was like, nah, dog, we don't sit here and raise our kid to be no. And he like, nigga, you ain't the father. So it's just like that to me. It's just because, but that again, where you leave that open, me personally as a man, there's no way in hell I could leave that responsibility open, dog. Because that's a tough one to sit here and know. And I know people do it all the time, and I know people just be like, all right, cool. Like I said, again, I'm not talking about the people you'd had kids at a young age and you just and life just happened fast. Because we can play a clip in a few. It was a little girl. She was like 16 years old, and she told her mom, man, we can talk about it now because that kind of all go into parenting and I guess she was 16. She had a little box. She in the car with her mother. And I don't even know, the girl just recorded her mom, and they just having a conversation. She was like, yeah, open the box, whatever. I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? And I guess she had the pregnancy test right there. 16 years old, it just heard her mom in the car, and her mom just literally broke down in tears and just was like crying like hell. And I was just like, bro, Jesus Christ. But again, tying all that into being said, like, for men, y'all need to think about sometimes where you just ready to quit and call it quits because you're not happy. But think about how many other times in life you have, and you just suck it up, especially as a man. You just literally, and they tell you that since a little boy, suck it up, stop crying. How much stuff in life you just sucked up and just dealt with it, but you're literally ready to run and just allow another dude to come and raise your kid? Ain't no way in hell, though. I couldn't do it. Sorry, it wouldn't be me. It's no way in hell. And then like I said, we can tie that into the Shy. I told y'all, as a man, that man pride and ego, bro, it's the illest thing in the world. And that's the best way you can see it. Like, for women who don't understand a man's pride and ego, just watch that last episode of the Shy and that interaction between Nook and Emmett. Because realistically, like, I'm the father. I don't need you to sit here and play no father to my son.
But I get it. But then it's like you just found out you was a father. You've been a father for all of like 5 minutes. So you have to come into it respecting what we have going on. You can't just come in and be like, yeah, I'm gonna run this, I'm gonna do. No, whether you the father or not, like, you still have to respect what we have going on in this household. You ain't been. It's not like he's been in the little boy's life the entire time. You just came in.
No, of course. But I think realistically, in his mind, it's like, my son don't have to live here. And that's where realistically, I'm telling we talked about it last week, but we could tie it in for people who maybe didn't hear last week's episode. I don't necessarily when I can afford to be a father and I got the time and I can just protect and provide. That is just realistically who Nook's character is. I don't see him allowing Emmett to really be able to be like even think he a dad, not to my kid. And that kind of go back into the conversation we was having because now what is the real tie between Emmett and Keisha? They don't have, I mean, outside of they love each other, but you don't have one that they have.
I mean, but that don't mean that the relationship is over. Y'all just got to come to and then Keisha, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Have a conversation with the both of them because she's the middle person. Like she's the only one that can kind of straighten it out a little bit to make it like so it's doable. Because real life, like he can't take that child. His schedule or whatever he got can't allow him to.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like I mean, realistically, if she wanted to take him to court, I mean, of course, realistically, you can't be a drug dealer and a goddamn hired shooter and be able to sit here and get your kid. You can't get full. You ain't gonna get no custody of your kid. Realistically, that will be a fight that you kind of can't fight.
But sometimes I understand it's a pride and ego thing, but you have to put your pride to the side. Y'all not together no more. Okay, that's cool, but like. We have to come together for the kids. You don't have to like this person as long as that person is treating your child right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then that's all I need. I don't have to like you. We can have a mutual respect for each other. We can be in each other's space and get along. Because everything don't always work out. So that's my thing. I feel like as long as, like with mine, as long as whomever they were with, they were okay with them. They, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They was taking care of them. I'm okay. I don't have a problem with it. Mm-hmm. The only problem that may arise, like if they feel uncomfortable or you've done something to them, then it's a problem. But if everybody, I have no problem with it.
So I guess then how? But I mean, I guess just if we keeping it just on the shy, how do you? I mean, where do Emmett really still have a place? I guess to play the dad role if I'm Nook and I don't need you to play the dad role. Like, yeah, y'all live together. That's because y'all in a relationship, but this don't have nothing to do with my kid.
But your kid is staying with me. Like I'm with his mother. Like so,
of course, but just I guess my pushback will be y'all ain't married.
It don't matter. We still together. So I'm still a part of your child's life, whether you like it or not. No, I'm not the father, but I'm still a part. I'm here with him every single day. I wake up with him or, you know what I'm saying, take him to school. I'm doing the fatherly things. So you still have to respect that. He don't have to call me dad. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm still here. No, we're not married. No, he's not my son, but I'm taking care of him like he's my own.
Okay, I agree with everything you just said. And that to me, for every dude that just heard that is why I don't care how much this woman get on your nerves. You better sit here. No, I'm just telling. Don't suck it up, dog. There's no, because me personally, I couldn't do it. Because you're absolutely right with what you're saying. Hey, I am raising a kid. He wake up, dog. I can never in my life imagine another nigga waking up to my goddamn kid every day, dog.
So what the hell? So what about another female?
Oh, like if I was a woman and could my kid if I was a female and me and my baby father had to do the custody thing. Mm-hmm. See, I think the crazy thing is because of the times that we live in now, I think a lot of women because they still want to date and have have a different relationship. I don't think they would care. Like I know it's the crazy thing. It's a lot of women I know who are okay with you take the kid every other week, or I take the weekdays, you take the weekend, you take the summer, you take this, because most of the time, if you're okay with that stuff, it's because mommy want a life too.
Not sometimes, but I mean, doing it by yourself is a lot. So it might not even. I need a life. I need a break. Like when there's situations like that, you have them on the weekends or every other weekend. I have them the entire time. Like I don't want to go out and rip and run. I just want some time to myself. It's not I want to be out here.
That's what I'm saying though. So when you want the time to yourself, are you still? Let's say screw the time. So let's say if it was every other week. Do you think especially if you feel like you just want that break, or you want that break to be able to just enjoy yourself and still, let's just say if you was younger, let's just say if you was in your 20s and this was going down, and you just like every other week, would you see and you actually enjoy going to the club, or you actually just enjoy getting flued out, going on trips and shit like that? Do you think realistically those women actually care who their baby father is laying up with?
Probably not. I would hope so, but.
And you can even see it on the other side, because I remember this girl I was dealing with and that was her situation. And I kept telling her, like, when her and her baby father first originally broke up, he was like still doing the most because he wasn't in no relationship. But then I told her, I said, dog, when he finds somebody else he actually love and start to build another family with, watch how much he don't care about you, and then watch how realistically how much he loosens up on the way he raising y'all daughter. And realistically, it happened. It maybe took like 8 years, but me and her had that conversation all the time. Now she's like, bro, you were so right, but at that time she didn't want to hear from me because it was still new and her kid was still young. But now you sitting here saying 8 years later, you saying, well, your kid about to go to high school. Her baby father then had 2 more kids. So now, and that's the kind of thing where it's like, I think, especially for a lot of women, they're cool with playing stepmommy until you and that dude start to have their own kids. Because now your relationship and it's foul, but it's realistically, the sad thing is probably realistically true. It's a lot easier to be stepmom and y'all don't have no kids. But then when you start to have your own kids, or even just like you could tie that into like when it was G Herbo and his baby mother, and when Ari and I guess Fabulous stepdaughter, and she was like, "Now I'm 2 kids up on you now. Like we're not even equal no more." And that's how women, a lot of women, sad thing, they probably feel like that. It's like, yeah, I came into as a stepmom, and I was cool with playing that role, but now I got 2 of my own kids. I really don't care about your kid no more. You can go raise your own kid. All that stuff that I used to do for your daughter, I ain't gonna do that now because I got 2 of my own daughters.
Well, that's the wrong person for you then.
No, it's the wrong person for who though?
For the dude.
You know how niggas be.
But I mean, they go back to red flags. Now, whether you decided to see that or not, like that's on you, because that's a person that you chose. Like when you've been in a situation like that, you should treat the kids that aren't yours. And when you start having kids, they should be treated the same. If I've been with these kids from day one, my stepkids, and then I have kids, I'm not just gonna, I don't care about them. Like, no, that goes back to the dude. Then you check that.
I'm with you. You should. It shouldn't be like that. But if we being honest, it be like that. A lot of, and it may be different. It's a little bit different from like maybe okay if I only got 1 son. So like, and let's say that's my oldest, and okay, and me and my baby moms didn't have it, and then I end up having 2 daughters. My bond with my son is gonna be completely different. But if I'm sitting here saying I got 3 daughters now, I can almost see the woman that I had the other 2 newer kids with. I know that dynamic is going to change, especially the older, because you got older. I know the older, especially little girls get, especially with their moms, you bump heads. So I can't imagine being the stepmom and dealing with a teenager. Because that level, whenever testosterone or whatever it's called, when that shit started to kind of raise up, it'd be like, I'm not about to fist fight my goddamn stepdaughter, because then I got to deal with her mother after we get into a fist fight. So now I go, cool, mom, now it's mom's time. I got my own 2 kids to raise now, my own 2 daughters.
I mean, I get, but then that's where the father steps in. Like, you got to give me some type of support. Like when they, like you said, when they get older, they definitely smell themselves and feel like, oh, I'm a do whatever. But then that's when dad comes in, like, look, like, you know what I'm saying? You straighten that out.
So do you think most men have the real backbone to straighten that out?
When it comes to daughters, no.
See, that's my point. So that's what I'm saying. So
then the woman she gotta step up. I get it. Like, I don't have to deal with this. Like, go back to your mother. What if the mother is a deadbeat mom? What if she not really in the picture like that? Then where the child gonna go? You got to deal with it because.
Yeah, I think to me, and just me personally, that's how, if I got to play step parent, I rather come into a relationship where the other parent is just a deadbeat. Because then I can actually have some ground to be a real parent. I can see here the structure that I'm sitting here going to build up, or the way I want to discipline this kid is damn near my kid. I'm not saying he's saying abuse your kid, but I'm saying what I say is law, where I don't have to sit here and going back into the shop. I don't have to be Emmett and Nut and bumping heads on some goddamn candy.
But see, it don't always work out like that. It's like something, you have your set of rules here, and then when you go with them, you have your set of rules there, and you got to kind of. You have to be able to work together. That's the easiest way I can put it. You have to be able to work together. Sometimes it's like reprogram them when they get back to you, because it's just that difficult. But I mean, you got to be able to. It's not. It's kind of hard, but it can be done.
So again, so that's what well, everything you said was perfect, and then my only thing will be, because just like you said, everything is hard and it can be done. My only thing is, if you know it's going to be hard to try to figure out the co-parenting, because you know realistically both of y'all are going to eventually move on and want to start a new family, then that will be my thing of.
But who knows that? Nobody knows that going into a relationship. Or you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Nobody gets married to say, okay, I'm gonna get divorced. Like, nobody does that.
Of course.
Now, it is a lot of people just having kids and they not thinking about it, but nobody realistically, for the most part, goes into something expecting the worst.
No, I get that, but I think to the point where now it's like so many people have those conversations loosely, where they sitting here making it seem like I feel like it's always the grass is green on everything, or or people even just having those conversations. I don't want to get married no more, or I don't want to be in whatever the case may be. Whatever all the ifs, ands, and buts about how people go into dating, to me is the thing where I think is just sometimes is like you kind of just to me personally, I think you just you got to figure out how to suck it up, though. And I'm not putting that stress on just the women. I'm saying to the men, like you got to kind of figure out what are you like. I just
tell you, I'm not going to be unhappy. Because you have to be okay for your children to be okay.
No, for sure. But I think it's harder for women to hide their unhappiness. And that's why I keep saying for men, I know for a fact most men can hide them not being happy.
How? I mean, okay. So so you might not come home. You might not come home with everybody going to bed. That's not hiding that you're unhappy. You're not really working. You just don't want to be home.
Yeah, that to me will be stupid, because then you're looking for an argument. Perfect example, even tying that back into the shot with Jim's father and his girlfriend.
And he don't get offended. But men, like y'all are just don't. What was his purpose? You didn't have a problem being in that relationship with her until she took those pictures.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm with you. To me, I'm watching that. I'm like, no, nigga, you're an idiot. Why? I want to just be, and I could be different because I don't just like hanging with niggas, period. So that would never be me. I would never see him like, why I just can't go out and watch the game with the boys. Like, nah, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stay in this house with you, but we ain't watching whatever the hell you watching. I want to still watch this goddamn game. I'll stay in the house. Let's compromise. I'll stay in this house. We not watching whatever love and hip hop you watching. We gonna cut this goddamn game on.
But that's what you like, compromise. That's the key word. A lot of people don't want to compromise. So you can't stay in a relationship with somebody that doesn't want to compromise. It can't just be one way. It has to be some type of compromise. So how much of that can you take before you just be like, I can't do it no more?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because I think it just depends on how bad it is. Like if it's not actual physical or like just absolute top tier disrespect, I feel like you're gonna have to figure out how to thug it out a little bit. Like if you just literally sit here saying like we just keep arguing over some petty stuff, bro, like I would have to suck it up. Just me if it's something small, like I'm not talking about like you in an abusive relationship physically or mentally, or this person is just absolutely trying to tear you down as a human being every day by just straight verbal disrespect. I'm not talking about those situations, because I think that's the extreme. But I'm talking about people who literally like you just getting upset because the person don't put the toilet seat down. Like that is just throwing you off. And I feel like that, because when that completely sends you left, that's more or something where it's something outside of the house and you allowing whatever outside of the house is affecting you to have one little thing that kind of piss you off when you come home.
Yeah, in a situation like that, yeah, I agree. But like this generation, they don't care.
Yeah. Again, like I told y'all, just that to me will be something y'all off, but all of y'all are off on Juneteenth. Though ride past a Kaiser, pick a Kaiser, pick one of those places, man. Or just even though think about why even Metro Access is a thing, because it's some people out here who are getting old and have nobody else to rely on. Just think about it. Those are things that people brush off, but you better start thinking about it while you still have the ability